Hey, what's up guys? It's Marf and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 video. Today we will be talking about the new Legend Pass car, the McLaren Elva, and we're also going to be talking about how it fits into the current season, with how you will require the Elva in order to get the Hennessy VENOM F5. So let's talk about the Elva first and then we'll talk about the bigger picture of things. So in general, I would say this car is pretty unremarkable. It actually sits lower in Class B than the old Corvette King at a max rank of 35-33. So in terms of rank alone, this really is not that great of a car. And if you don't plan on going for the Hennessy VENOM F5, I don't see any real reason to get this car unless you really love McLaren or you really love this Elva. And personally, I think it looks pretty cool. I know there have been a lot of different speedsters from different companies. I mean, we have two of them now in Asphalt 9 with the McLaren Elva and the Aston Martin Speedster. So that's pretty neat to see. And it goes along with this whole summer theme of convertibles. But otherwise, in terms of stats, this is pretty unremarkable. I will say that this car's one redeeming quality is the acceleration at 81.3 at max. It is pretty darn good, and you'll find yourself at top speed pretty quickly, whether you're just doing double tap nitro or shockwave. But otherwise, its top speed of around 219 miles per hour is actually lower than the Huracan, so it can't even compete with that. And in terms of handling, it's reasonable, but it's not anything crazy like the Corvette or the Huracan. And in terms of nitro, it's actually pretty below average for B class. So overall, for the McLaren Elva, I would say it is not worth the Legend Pass price alone. If you're just looking at this vehicle, aside from, how it fits into the bigger picture, I would not really recommend it. It's not that great of a car, especially if you already have some of the good B-class cars, even at lower stars. So now I wanted to talk about the sort of bigger picture of the season and how the Elva fits in. Now, if you didn't know, you will need the McLaren Elva in order to start, I believe, the Hennessy VENOM F5 event, which is pretty disappointing to see, but it's kind of the norm nowadays when it comes to the very high-end S-Class cars. I believe you needed the Legend Pass to start the Spark Al event and the Bugatti Divo event, so it makes sense that, well, they're going to do the same thing for the Hennessy VENOM F5. It's just still sad to see nonetheless. Now, what's interesting is the Hennessy VENOM F5 does not actually need a key to unlock. If you go and check in the garage, you still need the 85 blueprints, but you don't need a key. And what's cool is during the Bugatti Veyron event that's going on right now, if you can get the Veyron, I believe at least 2 stars, you can start to get some blueprints for the VENOM F5. Now, speaking of the Veyron for a bit, I'm actually quite concerned because Gameloft hasn't told us whether or not we will need the Veyron for the Hennessy VENOM F5 event. Now, I assume that we might need the Veyron in order to get a couple of blueprints for the Hennessy VENOM F5. As it is now, you can get some in that Veyron event like I mentioned before, but we still have yet to see if you require the Veyron in order to advance within the event, or if it's just going to be getting some extra blueprints from having the car. Now, with the Tuatara, you did, I believe, need the Bailey at least unlocked to progress through the event, and I believe you needed a 4-star Bailey in order to get the key for the SSC Tuatara. So hopefully when they announce the specific details of the VENOM F5 event, we'll know if you need the Veyron, and hopefully you'll still be able to buy packs for the Veyron at that moment. But again, they just haven't released any details, which is quite disappointing because I'm still considering whether or not I should go for the Veyron. I definitely will have enough tokens to unlock it. Although I don't know about conditions, I'm pretty sure I'll be fine because I have a Max Apollo and a 570S and a Huayra BC. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to hit those 280 conditions. And I think I'm going to go ahead and try to unlock it anyway because of the nostalgia factor alone for the Veyron. It's just a special car. You can't deny, if you've played older Asphalt games, there's a special place in your heart for the Bugatti Veyron, and there is one in my heart for the Veyron for me. So overall, looking at the bigger picture for the Elva, I would say the only reason why you should get this car is if you're going for the Hennessy VENOM F5. Now for me, I'm looking at the Hennessy VENOM F5 as something that I could possibly acquire. I have around 45,000 tokens, so even if I go for the Veyron, I'll still have probably around 35,000 tokens left to get the VENOM F5. What I'm waiting on is the extra requirements for the event. So with that being said, will we need the Veyron, or what other special event cars will we need in order to advance in the F5 event? So that's why I haven't purchased the Legend Pass yet. If I really only need the Elva and a couple other cars that I have, it's definitely something that I'll go for, but otherwise I still want to make sure that it's something that I can get guaranteed, because one of the biggest pieces of advice I have for people in this game is don't spend any money or any tokens unless what you're going for is guaranteed. And by that I mean, if you're not sure if you'll be able to get something, I wouldn't attempt to pay anything whatsoever. Obviously, a lot of people suggest that you go as far as you can into events as possible, and that is certainly the case that I would agree with for any normal special event. But if you need to pay to get into that special event, well, then you have to weigh what you get versus how much you pay. So beyond that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on the McLaren Elva in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys later.